the absolute biggest thing that human beings have a hard time understanding and accepting, that there's a different perspective. Let's leave the matrix into the real world. Here we go. I want to talk about what was trending right now. What's trending right now is the Diddy trial. And I want to specifically talk about Cassie. I want to specifically talk about Cassie. I made a Facebook post, and paraphrasing my Facebook post, I pretty much said the reason why men are skeptical of Cassie is not because men are just being insensitive. You see, let me get under this light. It's not because we're being insensitive. It's because everybody knows women just are disingenuous, but everybody knows. But men are a lot of men are willing to be truthful about it and talk about it and bring the truth to the light. But most women are just disingenuous and just play off the popular narrative. And that truth is, Cassie was a beautiful woman, especially in her R&B days. It's obvious, like it don't take a rocket scientist to know that hundreds of men was after her. Hundreds of men. I mean, I bet she couldn't walk the streets, because back then that was the approach era. Oh man, I know she couldn't walk the street. She couldn't go to an event. She couldn't do anything without dudes trying to get at her. I already know it. I know she had white collar dudes, blue collar dudes, of course, gangsters, dope dealers, high powered guys like Diddy, everybody. So she basically had a choice. She had a choice. And if you pick, okay, let's say she picked a blue collar guy, then she would have had to, deal with a guy making $60,000 a year, live in an apartment, have just maybe one car for her, one car for leisure, and a minivan for the kids, vacation once every year, and she had that lifestyle, living in an apartment. She knew if she picked a white collar guy, she probably would have lived in somewhere more suburban, with the white picket fence, the dog, the kids, soccer, maybe 2 vacations. Maybe, if she picked a gangster, she probably would have lived in Section 8 projects, kids and all that stuff. But so you weigh the pros and cons. You got with the blue collar guy, you would have dealt with probably less money, but he probably would have been a more loving guy. Didn't have the options. Y'all remember what Kevin Sam used to say? Men don't cheat; they exercise options. So the blue collar guy wouldn't have as many options. In my eye, men gonna be men. So the most she would have had to worry about is maybe a man who, on the side, spends his money to get something on the side of something once every blue moon, every 5-6 months or whatever, because he don't have the options. You blue collar, you can't. So pros and cons, but probably would have been a good guy. Didn't have to deal with much cheating, family life. You know what I'm saying? A guy who cherishes her, ain't dealing with a lot of other women and things like that. White collar guy, probably might sleep with a secretary at work, maybe, or maybe not, or maybe he loves you enough to. But the white collar guy and blue collar guy, you see, those guys get divorced because the one time they get caught, you know what I'm saying, doing some extracurricular, and that's just the one time. But he really loves his wife, would do anything for her, and you see what I'm saying. So It's minimal, but probably had a loving situation with the kids in the house and all that. But you chose the rich and powerful. You wanted to fly around in private jets. You wanted to go from France to Germany to Dubai to back to Miami to Los Angeles to New York. You wanted to get in the studio and make your own studio album. Go to Louis Vuitton, wherever you wanted to go, buy all the luxury clothes you wanted to buy. You wanted to live that lifestyle, have that image. That's what you chose, and you chose the man who could bring all that and bring the prestige. You're the envy of everybody. Those are the pros. You got pros of that. Those are the benefits of being with that type dude, the Diddy type dude. That's what she chose. So that's what she wanted. But you got pros and you got cons. You got an upside and you got a downside. She got to deal with the downside. The downside is Diddy has major options. Diddy was messing with Jennifer Lopez at one time. Diddy got major options. It's been known. She knew that. He was messing with Jennifer Lopez before she got with him. So for him to be able to be with a woman like Jennifer Lopez, who every man in the world wants, then doesn't it dawn in a woman's head like, oh, okay, I could have got with a lower dude who I wouldn't have had to deal with all that, but I got with this dude, you know what I'm saying, he make a lot of money, he traveling, things gonna happen. But now, if she puts in her head like, oh no, even though he's rich and powerful with all these options, he's supposed to love me and supposed to be monogamous to me. He's just supposed to, even though his whole life is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. When he gets with me, I'm Cassie. He's supposed to flip that switch. Now, I'm not talking about the DV. When it comes to the DV, y'all know what DV means. At the hotel incident, guess what? The incident has already been litigated. They already went through the proceedings. She got a lot of money. She didn't decide to press criminal charges. She got a lot of money for that situation in court, and that she squashed that situation with money, and they had not moved on. Then these allegations came up, so that's over. You know what I'm saying? I would, me myself, I don't like to come with my own personal feelings on my channel. I like to be very objective. But to touch in that for me myself, I would have rather she put him in jail for domestic violence, for hitting on a woman the way he hit on her. You feel me? But she chose the money. So that situation, she chose the money. Like, who are we? We're adults. We're looking on like she chose the money to pay for that situation. So she's pushed it to the side. Okay, I got my money. I took those hits. I got my money in it. And so that's the way she handled it. Now, she chose the lifestyle, and let's end this video. What I said in my post was, like, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll from being with a powerful man has been going on for decades, through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. On my post, I said, I bet, because I know how the 80s was. You know what I'm saying? I was a baby in the 80s, but I know how the 80s, listen, I seen enough. The 80s was cocaine, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm trying to tell you. I said in my post, what she did with those little freak offs, I bet it pales in comparison, because it wasn't much. The microscope wasn't on everything. There wasn't no social media. There wasn't no cameras everywhere. What Richard Pryor, Pam Grier, Marilyn Monroe, Wilt Chamberlain, Eddie Murphy, Whitney Houston, all the parties and the things that I bet they did, come on. But it wasn't no Me Too back then. Them folks made their decision. Oh, I'm with a powerful man. We gonna do all this stuff. Made their decision, took the consequences. But we're in the Me Too era where you do all these freaky things, you take all these drugs, you do this, you do that, and then now you can wallow on your regrets and then actually go through litigations and get cashed out for your regrets. Because I regret doing all that. I regret running my body count through the roof with this rich dude because he wanted to bring other people in the bedroom and all this and that. But all that consensual stuff, but now you regret. Sad situation, man. Y'all gotta stop. Just be accountability. Accountability, man. What they said with the 100 gorillas versus not 100 gorillas, 100 men versus one gorilla. And somebody switched in and say, how about 100 women versus accountability? The absolute biggest thing that human beings have a hard time understanding and accepting is that there's a different perspective. And if you ignore that perspective, it can sneak up on you. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Logical Life Perspective.